Vivek Ramaswamy. Kudos to Vivek. This guy is going places politically. Here's from Georgia. DeSantis is a Bush-backed conservative. These are swamp-dwelling Republicans. I don't really trust Ron DeSantis yet. And finally, from Michigan, I really don't pay attention to what Ron DeSantis is saying sometimes because to me, he just sounds like the swamp. Well, this guy doesn't sound like the swamp. Vivek Ramaswamy is an American entrepreneur, author, political activist, and of course, he's one of the Republican presidential candidates. He's here in Miami. We welcome Vivek Ramaswamy back to the Mike Gallagher Show. I wanted to start with you by thanking you for, our listeners support you so much because you've been a good friend of the show. People know where you stand. You've been in full-throated condemnation mode over what Trump is being put through with this arraignment. I suspect that's why you're here. The hot rumor is that you're going to drop out of the race and you're going to throw 100% of your support behind Donald J. Trump. Any truth to that rumor?
Well, I have the press conference coming up very soon, but I am in this race to actually stand with conviction for Americans. And I issued a FOIA request to the Biden administration yesterday demanding transparency on exactly what did Joe Biden tell Merrick Garland, what did Merrick Garland tell Jack Smith. One of the things I'm going to do at this press conference is to lay out exactly what we're going to do if we don't hear back. The law demands that they get back to us within 20 days. If they don't, we're going to be talking about the next steps that we're going to be taking. I'm also going to be making another announcement. You stay tuned for what that is, but I think it's going to surprise you relative to where the rumors are. I think the rumors are off base, and it's going to surprise you what we're actually going to have to say.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to that. And all I've been hearing from Americans north, south, east, west is a degree of appreciation for you being willing to be in this race. Yes, you'd like to be elected president, but you also understand what the disgraceful way the Justice Department has been weaponized, and you are the only Republican presidential candidate who has taken steps like this to the Freedom of Information Act. We've been reporting on that all week long, and people are saying, thank goodness for Vivek Ramaswamy's willingness to put the country ahead of his political ambitions.
Well, the sad part to me is that this is what the news media should be doing. The job of the news media, if it has one job, is to hold the U.S. government accountable. And if the same shoe fit the other foot, I have no doubt that the media would not take their word on face value. And yet today, because it's the Biden administration, they behave like the state media. So I looked myself in the mirror and I said, look, if the news media isn't going to do it, you don't have to wait till the election next year to be a leader. We can start to lead now. The law empowers us as citizens. It's up to us to step up and use it. And make no mistake, it would be much easier for me as a candidate in this race if Donald Trump were not in it. But I'm not looking at political advantages here. And by the way, one of the things I want to share is a lot of the donor class is advising candidates right now. You want to know why other candidates are staying silent? Here's the dirty little secret. It's because the donor class within the Republican Party is advising all of the candidates to stay far away from it, to not touch it with a 10-foot pole, to keep a distance from this. Well, I refuse to play political strategy. I want to stand for what is actually right, what is actually true. And that's a big part of why in this entire campaign, I'm just speaking truth. Whatever's true, we're going to say it. If that's the winning strategy, so be it. If it's not, that's the only strategy I know how to play. But that's exactly why a lot of the other candidates have stayed quiet on this.
It's a breath of fresh air at a time where so many Americans are anguished. I was in South Carolina with Seb Gorka the other night. We had an event with hundreds of people. People are angry. They're anguished. They can't believe this is even happening. And, of course, Vivek, as you know, yesterday it was revealed that the FBI source who reported Biden's alleged role in a bribery scheme says that a Ukrainian businessman has multiple audio recordings of first son Hunter and even two of Joe Biden. You saw Senator Chuck Grassley reveal that yesterday. This is what people mean about a double standard going on here.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you ought to think about actually the unthinkable is now thinkable. Look at it's the very country now where Joe Biden, who is now president, is sending hundreds of billions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer money. It's the same country where there was a company supposedly privately owned, but the main owner of that company has in the last decade been on national security advisory councils in the nation of Ukraine. now getting hundreds of billions of dollars back. He said he kept audio tapes of those recordings, allegedly, as an insurance policy. Well, now it looks like that insurance policy is playing out. And so I'm consistent, Mike. I mean, what I say is if President Trump, it turns out, was actually selling those secrets to our adversaries in Russia or China or other places, that would be a very different story. But we haven't seen any evidence of that. And yet now for the current sitting president, you have good evidence of accepting effectively bribe money through family members to actually affect foreign policy decisions. That is the real travesty. And I'm not going to be ashamed in calling that out. We have two tiers of justice in this country, one for Antifa, one for peaceful protesters on other occasions, one for Julian Assange, one for Chelsea Manning, the trans individual who President Obama commuted the sentence of, who was the government official who leaked to Julian Assange. Now one standard for the likes of President Trump, another for President Biden. That is not America, and I will stand for truth at every step.
I know I speak for millions of Americans who say thank you for being here in Miami today, and we're going to find out what you say. Stay tuned, as you put it. Vivek2024.com if you want to support Vivek's candidacy. Find out everything he's doing. Vivek, V-I-V-E-K, Vivek2024.com. Vivek Ramaswamy, thanks for joining us just moments before your big press conference here on the Mike Gallagher Show. We appreciate you very much. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you.